How's it going, Noki Gang? Welcome back to another edition of Noki News. I'm Philip. If you don't know who I am already, I am one of the assistant front end managers, and I'm joined today by.
JQ, also the other front end manager, and we're here to talk about some hot takes on the market and some questions we have about some upcoming sets.
The first question I have to ask you is, with Pokemon's 30th anniversary coming up, there's going to be a huge anniversary set coming out. What are some predictions you have, or what are you hoping to see out of this set?
I mean, saw some speculations online where they had the tops, the chrome tops, and with the signatures. So I feel like that could be one thing about 30th. Some other things I saw was like they made full arts of the old Da Vinci stuff, like the Coral. They had full art, and they put the 30th stamp. 30th, well, from what I would want to see, probably old vintage with the full art. I think that would be so cool. What about you?
I completely agree with that. I saw some speculations going around and some fan art made work of people extending the half arts of the original Pokemon 151 cards from base set and turning them into art rares. I think that's a really great kind of variant of cards they can do. Say so. For me, what I am hoping to see out of it is kind of like how they did with the evolution set, where they made half art cards worth something again. The last time we had something of that sort was with that Charizard Holo from Evolutions. Even to this day, it's still worth a pretty penny. So I'm hoping to see something like that. Very nostalgic kind of feeling. Yeah. So I have another question to follow up on that. As we saw recently in the Scarlet Violet sets, we saw different variants of cards make a comeback. That comeback being the Ace Specs cards. If you were to choose a variant of cards such as Tag Teams, Gold Stars, Shinings, like Legend cards, what would you want to see make a comeback?
I want to see tag teams come back. I think tag teams personally is like one of my favorite eras of Pokemon. It's so cool having two Pokemons in one card.
I agree.
So I think that. Also, I would like to see like back in the day when they did the reverse holo stamps and just like regular crazy reverse holo, like the legendary collections, like that crazy reverse holo. I think that would be really cool. So hopefully they could do that one day. What about you? What would you want to come back?
Me personally, I really want to see the legend cards make a comeback. I thought they were so cool. These two full art cards being put together to create one. Great examples being the Espeon and not Espeon, the Deoxys and Rayquaza. That one is so sick. That's one of my favorite ones. So something like that, as well as that art style, super cool.
So one question I have is, so modern Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Is the demand driven by scalpers or influencers, or do you think the demand is organic?
I want to say right now it's been pumped by vendors and influencers. A couple things we saw was the Booger Mew from Black Bolt and White Flare. That was pumped a lot. But back then, it was mainly collectors, and there still are collectors to this day, but I feel like the scene has been overrun by vendors who has always tried to make the quick flip. But what do you think?
I agree. I think it's driven by scalpers and influencers because I think when you're watching on YouTube, everyone cares about like the price of the cards now, not like the actual like art or anything. They're like, oh, just bought this 50K slab, Yeah. So I think that what drives a lot of the audience is the financial aspects of Pokemon.
I completely agree with that. One question I had to think is, do you think the artists have to contribute to that?
I think yes and no. I think think a lot of people don't really care about the artists besides like very famous one like Shinji Kanda, you know, the Giratina.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually if he does another card, right, that card goes crazy.
Mhm.
You know, as we saw, you know, first was the Giratina that exploded in price. Then he drew the Magikarp. You know, just a regular illustration rare. This went crazy in price, you know.
No, yeah, yeah.
PSA 10 is over K.
Yeah,
The raw
yeah.
value is like $200.
Mhm.
So I think in that, yeah, some just a very few artists, not you know everyone, just
So like
very
the hot shot artist. And all of
like
that.
I say like maybe like 2 or 3.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you?
For me, I also kind of think the artists themselves have nothing to do with it because obviously they're just doing their work.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of the scalpers and the influencers who like pumping the artists because their opinion and all of that. Like Mitsuhiro Arita, for example, he is an OG artist.
Mhm.
I can get behind the hype around that, but with Scarlet and Violet expanding their artworks and including more artists, there's a lot of new people who just released Pokemon artworks and have cards pumped to the moon. Like the artist for the Bubble Mew, it was USG NEN. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I believe the Bubble Mew was like his like second or third card, a fairly new artist to the Pokemon illustration scene. That one card, boom, and I'm not gonna lie, in my opinion, it's kind of crazy to me to think how someone who I don't want to discredit their work or anything, but there has been other artists who have been illustrating for a long time and haven't seen big hits only because they probably haven't been given the opportunity to do such huge artworks for such huge cards. But yeah, like my favorite artist was Naoki Saito, and they do have some alt arts from the Scarlet Violet and Sword and Shield era, but they're not as huge as like Shinji Kanda and all of that.
Hmm. Okay, I have a question, right?
Mhm.
So, getting a signature by Mitsuhiro, right?
Mhm.
What do you feel like just getting a signature and the price just automatically is like super expensive? How do you feel about that? Just getting a signature on like a regular card and you know, and they mark it up super high.
A lot of the times, people get the signature from Mitsuhiro because they want that
Mhm.
price, but for me personally, I don't think it should really affect the card. Like, sure, it was signed by the artist. It should bump up the price like a little bit, but for it to explode in such a huge way is, I believe, kind of out of pocket. I feel like if you were to get a signature, it should be um, get it should be signed with the sense of, oh, this is something precious to me. I don't want to let this go. But people always want to flip it for the quick cash, I would say, and that I feel like it's defeating the whole purpose of getting the signature.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I mean, I agree, but I think it's only or like the market of the card, right? The price of the card. It should be only exploded price if that art was drawn by him, you know.
Mhm.
Like if it's just some random card that another illustrator drew, I don't think it should explode in price. You know, that's my thoughts. Cause I've seen this random card signed by him, but it's like super expensive.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? You know,
Yeah,
just because
yeah.
it's signed by him. It's not even like the card he
Yeah,
drew.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. Following up on that, um, what are your thoughts on the scalpers jumping to different TCGs such as Dragon Ball and One Piece? What card game is going to be on their next block, I guess? What's on the chopping block? Um, yeah.
I mean, I guess they gotta do what they gotta do, right?
Right.
To make that quick bank.
Right.
But I mean, One Piece I get because like One Piece is super.
Hmm.
It's a super big anime, and
Mhm.
the card game has been pretty relevant like for the past couple years already, you know.
Mhm.
But Dragon Ball, I think Dragon Ball is kind of crazy. Don't get me wrong, Dragon Ball
Yeah.
artistic. I kind of just started
Yeah.
looking at TikTok and everything, but I think just how quick they jump from One Piece. I think that it's only been like a couple months since they jumped over. Now they're jumping over to the
Yeah, yeah.
Dragon Ball all of a sudden. It's
I
just
completely agree with that.
shocking.
It's almost outrageous because One Piece was a fairly new TCG to come out, and I get I completely agree with you about how it's super popular and it makes sense why people wanted to switch over or add that to their inventory. But Dragon Ball has been around for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and they only want to hop on it now because would you say that the market is too all over the place right now that people don't know what to get into?
For Dragon Ball or what?
In general, do you think the reason why people are hopping TCGs to quote unquote scalp is because they don't know where they want to lay in the market?
Um, Not really. I mean, I think scalpers sees that like as an opportunity, to make that quick bank.
Yeah.
So they say like, oh, the market's slowing down One Piece now. So what is the next game that could explode? Dragon Ball has been around for forever. It's one of the top animes too, right? So they see as like, ooh, okay, if I pump up the market for Dragon Ball, then I can make a lot of money.
Mhm.
So I think that's where the head is at.
You know what else I heard that was a little bit shocking to me is people getting into Yu-Gi-Oh slabs. What are your thoughts about that?
Like in terms of scalpers or just like collectors are like what?
Scalpers.
Scalpers? I mean, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh's been, the market's been kind of dead for like past many years.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's not shocking to see them jump over there because just seeing how One Piece, the Dragon Ball, then now I guess Yu-Gi-Oh might be next. I mean, not shocking to me. I feel like there is room in Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's just so much to it.
Yeah.
So I feel like them scalping it's gonna end pretty quickly because I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh is just very complicating in terms of like rarity and stuff.
Mhm.
How about you?
I can get behind that reason. For some of these people, the vending scene is their like how they live, how they get by it, and if one thing isn't working, they always gotta try something else that will work. And it's just a constant cycle of sticking to what works and also changing to what isn't working, like switching it out. So I can get behind the reason why people are jumping the different TCGs. It's just shocking to see the choices that they made. Like sure they've been around for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure the people who have already been in that kind of vending scene with those TCGs are a little bit shocked to see their prices be pumped exponentially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they're grateful for that they're getting more business now, but they might be experiencing what they saw in Pokemon back during 2021, 2022. It was dead, and eventually the vending scene blew up, and now the market is all over the place.
So do you think Yu-Gi-Oh's next for the scalpers or what game do you think?
Out of the TCGs that I know that have serious collectors in, Yu-Gi-Oh might be a big choice for them.
Yeah, I think Yu-Gi-Oh too, but I think Weiss could be next. They got all the
Oh,
waifus in there,
true,
Yeah.
true. And Weiss does different
Yeah.
animes too. It's not just a singular one. They have different options to go into. It's more of like
Mhm.
which ones will
Yeah.
pop off.
Or there's like Vanguard. Oh, maybe what Naruto, seeing how Dragon Ball Naruto's next.
Oh! True, true.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy. But for example, like Weiss, going back to Weiss, what are some animes you think that people would want to go into?
I don't know actually. I don't know.
I know Freeren is one.
Mm.
We know someone on our team who has a Freeren Weiss card in a PSA 10.
Oh, yeah.
That's worth a pretty penny.
Yups.
I'm not entirely sure what else
Mm-hmm.
they printed. We obviously know the big one they have is the Bunny Girl Senpai.
Mm-hmm.
The My autograph signed card. That's a huge one. I feel like that's like a every Weiss collector's dream to have. If Pokemon prints everything to the ground, will there still be a market to hype it up for? Hype for it?
Personally, I don't think so. Just cause like I think part of Pokemon, right? What makes it so special, or like just any card game, is the scarcity of the card. Like
Mhm.
if everyone is getting hits left and right, I don't think a market would be there. I think everything is just gonna be dirt cheap. I mean, that's great for collectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
If your SIRs, if your Bubble Mew is like $30, or
Yeah.
like your Umbreon, your Moonbreon is
Mhm.
like $30, I think it'll be great for collectors, but as a financial aspect, I don't think it'll be great. Yeah, that's what I think. What about you?
I completely agree with that. I think what motivates people to continue ripping packs and collecting is for the chase. Like people have their chase card and they want to experience pulling it out of the pack. Like that's the whole point that should be with collecting. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
getting that huge rush of adrenaline whenever you pull your chase card. Like me personally, I've yet to top this, but back when Shining Treasures first came out, the Bubble Mew is in there. That was my chase.
Mm-hmm.
My first box and first pack ever, I pulled the Bubble Mew.
Oh,
I graded it myself and it came back a 10. Huge is up for me. I don't think I can beat that. Well,
mm-hmm.
not yet. Not until I pull my next big chase. But for now, I yet to done that. That's still my number one hit. My follow up question to that is, what would you define as a chase card for you?
I mean, for me, the chase card is just the hardest card you can pull from the set, or like the most expensive. Because usually the most expensive is the hardest one to pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my chase, or that's what I think of a chase card. What about you?
Me personally, whatever my chase card is, it's most likely because of the artwork. Like most recently, my chase card was from the new set, Nihil Zero. It's the Rowlet art rare. Last time I saw market was around $6 to $10, in between that range. I don't know if it has dropped recently, but me, I think that card is so cute. And my whole mission is to collect the whole binder of them, like to create an
Mm-hmm.
army of Rowlets. Um, like say before when Surging Sparks came out, the
Yeah.
Japanese set, I believe it was in Paradise Dragona. My chase from that set was the Clobbopus because
Mm-hmm.
it was the same artist as the Bubblebee. And going back to that old question, you could say that I was collecting it because of the artist,
Mm-hmm.
but thinking it was gonna go up, and it did eventually. But then again, it went down because the market did cool off a bit more. But going back to the original question again, I like collecting Pokemon cards based on their artworks and how I feel about them.
I mean, yeah, same. I feel like for me, when I collect, it's mainly artwork. Like, I mean, there's like some things, or like there's a part of me where like, oh yeah, the price kind of matters, but I think mainly it's the art. Like, if I really like it, I want it.
I agree on that.
Okay, so another question I have. So when people are seeing Pokemon cards, right? Is it a hobby first, or like is it a financial asset first? Like, is it people seeing it as an investment or like a hobby?
In my opinion, and this is how I started off too. Um, for the longest time that I could remember, ever since I was a kid, I've always loved Pokemon cards. Like I love ripping the packs, I love collecting the cards based on the artwork and so forth. So I feel like everybody starts off as a true collector, and then the more time they spend collecting, the more time they get to understand the market of it, and they start to see the investment as well as the return on investment from the cards. So to answer the question, I think people start off as the collector and then eventually end up as a vendor or a reseller or some sort. What do you think?
I think, yeah, I kind of agree with what you say, but I think back then when Pokemon wasn't too hype, I think everyone came in the hobby thinking it was a hobby, trying to collect the cards they like. They didn't care too much about the value each card had. But now I feel like with this market and everyone cares about the value.
Mhm.
They pull the card like, oh, how much is this? How much is that?
Yeah,
And they pull a card that's like not worth anything. They're like, oh, this is disappointing.
yeah.
Even though they got a pretty decent card, they got a hit. So I feel like nowadays it's an investment first before a hobby.
Hmm.
Because I've seen kids, they pull a card and the first thing they ask is, how much is this?
Mm.
They're not like, oh my god, this is so cool looking or anything. It's just how much.
Yeah.
So I feel like nowadays, yeah, everyone cares about the value over the artwork.
I would say for me, um, I am always a collector first
Mm-hmm.
because that's just who I am. This is how I got into it. Was collecting. Like although I'm a vendor in the vending scene, I also have my personal collection. Like I collect cards that I like based on the artworks. I collect Pokemon because they're my favorites, such as like Tyranitar, all that. But for a while, collecting was my number one priority first, other than vending. But now that times have changed and we built the business more, I started to put the um, investing first after collecting. But eventually, as time goes on, I might want to elevate my personal collection more. What about you?
I mean, yeah, I've started, you know, collecting long ago when I was a kid. I remember going to Almoana, going to what's it, Animation Magics, always asking, "Oh, can I buy that pack? Can I buy that pack?"
Yeah,
And they're like, "Okay, just one." And I always every time I'm ripping. So I was a collector. Then I came back to the hobby in like 2021 when Evolving Skies came out. Ripped so much, trying to chase the Boomerang, and we did it.
You did it?
Yeah,
Nice.
we did it. And yeah, after that, the market died a little bit. Kind of got out of it to focus on other things, and now I'm back in here. Not so much as a collector, but I'm still trying to grow my PC. But I'm very picky on what I want to pick. It has to be very cool artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Um, my next question is: Are PSA 10s actually losing meaning as populations explode, or do you think it's the opposite?
I mean, I don't think so, cause I mean, I think for Japanese cards, it could lose the meaning. Cause the print quality is so high compared to English.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's over like what is it like 70-80% in like 10. So I think in Japanese, yes, it could lose me, but English no, just because the print quality, it's so hard to hit a 10. Like most of the chase cards, you would probably hit like a 30% genuine 10
Mhm.
rate.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's gonna lose its value for English, just for English. No. What about you?
Yeah. Do you think because the Japanese quality is so high that the 10 percentage is significant higher than the other grades,
Mm-hmm.
do you think to compensate for that they print Japanese exclusive promos?
Um, Not really. I feel like Japanese promo is just to give something out to the collectors, or a celebration of something.
Mm.
Not so much to compensate for the PSA 10s, just because it's so high quality. Something to give out to the collectors and make them excited about something.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. For me, I like doing the Japanese cards only because not a lot of people are doing it, and the main reason why I started doing Japanese was because of the promos themselves. The Japanese promos, the exclusivity of it, and all of that, making it niche almost. Um, and you could say that it's within my range that I like to buy stuff in. Between the $100 and the $500 range is what I'm most comfortable investing in. A lot of the times, there's a lot of chase Pokemon cards that's in that range.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't mind like the nice quality. It's quick flips for me.
Well, I don't see it losing its meaning either, because like if you see like the Van Gogh, right,
Mm-hmm.
the population is super high intense,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still like a 2K card now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when it was low, it was like 1,500. Now it's like it went back up to 2K. It's like that.
Yeah.
That kind of means right there, like just high population doesn't really matter too much. I mean, trying to sell the card might be a little hard because like everyone has it, but in terms of value wise, it didn't really drop too much just because everyone's trying to grade it.
Yeah. Do you know if the 10 to 9 ratio is significantly different? Is the 10 a higher population than the 9, or is it vice versa?
Uh, not too sure about that,
Hmm.
but I feel like with that card, the nines are higher. But I feel like that card is still hard to get a 10. But I don't know. There's just so much of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the 9 is higher. I think so. Not too sure. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries. If anything, we can pull it up
Yep.
later and double check it. But
One last question I have is, with last year's market, how it went crazy, right? It just boomed after Prismatic. Do you think, or do you see it happening again this year?
um,
Or do you see like a decline, slow decline?
it's hard to say because the Pokemon market in 2025 was so unpredictable. We were in a growing bubble for months, and it was because there was constant back-to-back like banger sets, very hype sets that everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be a big thing," and some of them were like Black Bolt and all of that, Black Bolt, White Flare, the start of Mega Evolutions. They brought back the Mega Card variants. Everybody was very happy about that, but going into this year, still continuing with Mega Evolutions, we know for sure that the Nihil Zero set is going to be coming out in English right after the 30th set, is what I'm assuming. We have Ascended Heroes that just came out. Pokemon Day live stream is happening in a few days from this recording. It's kind of hard to quote unquote predict what the market will be like. I did hear speculations about a set called Chaos Rising, which has the Mega Greninja in
Yeah,
it.
I saw that too.
There's some leaks going around about the SIR, what people's opinions about it. I know for sure that they should be doing a Rayquaza set soon, so I think that might be a chase set for the summer, somewhere around there, I'm assuming. But as for the rest of the year, it's kind of hard to predict whether we will see another boom or a decline. I think it would be all over the place. Like, I want to compare the upcoming Zygarde set to how it was in Sword and Shield with Darkness Ablaze. I think this set is not going to do as well as others. To really answer the question, yes and no, there will be both ups in the market as well as downs in the market compared to last year where everything was just a steady incline. Yeah. What is your thoughts on that?
I think there's gonna be a mini boom in the first half of the year. I mean, as you can see now, if you check, your collector of TCG,
Mm-hmm.
everything's, or like not everything, but all this. If you look at your seal, right?
Yeah.
Everything's going up. 151 is up. Test and Rival is booming, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think with Ascended Heroes coming out, I mean, it's already out, but with the ETBs and the booster bundles coming out later in a couple months, I think it's still gonna keep going up. But in terms of like Perfect Order coming out, I think it's gonna be a dead set. Like, not dead, but like overlooked set, like how Journey was. Journey got overlooked by Prismatic and Destined Rivals. I feel like that's when the same thing happened to it. And with 30th coming out, it's just gonna keep going up. So I think it's gonna keep going up, but not the same as last year, because last year nobody really cared about Pokemon before that in 2024, 2023, right? And with Prismatic coming out, so many new people came into the hobby. So, and now there's already so many people. I don't think not much new people can really enter it because everyone knows about it. So there won't be another big boom. So I think it's just a steady upwards, trend.
Going back to Ascended Heroes, do you think that was a good decision on Pokemon's side to make different, the release of different products in different sections? to like space it out more?
I mean, I could kind of see what they're doing, but personally, no. I feel like they should just released everything so people can rip. I mean, I feel like by the time the booster bundles come out, the hype might be a little dead because like booster bundles come out in April, you know. Yeah,
Holy cow.
and ETBs released in the end of this month or like the 20th or something, right?
Something around there.
And like what the set officially came out in end of January, so that's a whole month of waiting for ETBs, and that's another like what month and a half into booster bundles come out. So I feel like people won't be as hyped to rip. I mean, people are still gonna rip, but the hype won't be there. Like
Yeah.
if they initially released everything
Yeah,
on the
once.
day of,
Yeah.
you're just making people wait, and I feel like
Longer.
people are just gonna like, get tired of it. New sets are gonna come out too.
Yeah.
Be like, because people always want to rip the new thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. What about you? How do you feel about that?
Me personally think that they should have also released everything at once. Waiting that long for booster bundles and ETBs to come out, like the ETBs aren't that bad. A month after release, not that bad. But for the booster bundles to come out in April, it's a little excessive. By then, we'll probably have like a English set come out and maybe 2 Japanese sets come out as well. Like, you could say it will diversify the market a little bit more, give people different options for sealed to like rip and all of that. But for a lot of people, they want to rip as soon as the set comes out because of set hype, and it'll die down. You could say it's both a pro and a con. Pro for collectors because the hype will die down. It gives them a better chance of like maybe finding product and all of that. Ripping, buying stuff at cheaper prices, even after release. Who knows?
No, not to lie, I feel like the Setted Heroes was not as hyped as people were gonna thought it would be, just cause, or that's what I think, cause like ETBs weren't released. You know, just those stickers, right? So those, much people can't rip too much of the stickers. So I feel like if they just dropped the ETB, everyone would go crazy about it, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna lie, I did see some pretty good hit rates out of
really,
Mhm.
I remember seeing like to get the gold is like 1 out of like 800 packs.
Hit rates as in like everything in general. Like people are getting art rares, people are getting some SIRs and all of that. Like there's hits in the set, obviously. Comparing it to Prismatic Evolutions, where the hit rates was just crazy horrendous, only because it was all special illustration rares.
Well, yeah, I've heard mixed things about it. You know, I heard the rates weren't too good either for like SIRs, IRs. I remember it was like 1 in SIR out of like either 80 or like 100 packs.
Oh wow.
Which is just okay. I don't know. We gotta see it till the ETBs really come out.
Yeah.
So until people can really start ripping.
All right. Well, that is our takes on the market. Let us know if this was Noki news or Noki nonsense. I'm Philip.
I'm JQ, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Shoot.